We are the Nerd Turtle Network.
Hello, and welcome to this week's episode of Impulse with Tony the Hitman Horton and ToddFather Holland. I am your host, the ToddFather, standing in for an absent hitman who's off probably doing God knows what. Hopefully, it's legal. uh, Joining me again this week is the man, the Digital Jedi, the All Smoke, Camille M. Abdullah. Say what's up to him, man.
How y'all doing?
So this week we're going to talk about Jonathan Hickman's House of X, Powers of X, which is it's down to what the last couple of episodes, last couple of issues
Yeah,
for both.
yeah, the last two issues come out next this week.
Yeah. So have you been enjoying it so far? As if I don't already know the answer.
Well, I've been loving it. I think for the past I think ever since Claremont got off the books regularly, um, with the exception of a couple of issues, some issues by Scott Lobdell and maybe a couple of other writers, it's been largely the X-Men have largely been trash to me.
Yeah.
I'm not a Morrison fan, Grant Morrison. I despised his X-Men. I'm not a Bendis fan. I despised his X-Men. So when I heard Jonathan Hickman was coming on, I got excited. I love what he did with Fantastic Four. Love what he did with the Avengers, especially in New Avengers, and the way he centered New Avengers around. If I'm not mistaken, he said this in the interview. He centered it around Black Panther. It was basically a whole Black Panther story. And I loved the way he did that. So when he was coming on the X-Men, I knew it was going to be something good. I didn't know it was going to be like this. I didn't know it was going to be this good. I think this is the best the X-Men have been in probably 20 years. I love the whole X-Men finally coming into the, okay, you know what? We're not taking a back seat anymore. Which I think it was it Kieran Gillen? I'm not sure, who kind of looked at it with the X-Men Extinction team.
Yeah.
When he had that team going, and it was kind of them saying, look, we're not taking a backseat to nobody. We're the most powerful people on the planet, and there's nothing you can do about it. And that's kind of what they're doing now, but kind of wrapping it up, basically saying, like Magneto said, we're your gods now. They mended fences with all the quote unquote evil mutants. Because I kind of thought it was kind of hokey that the only people the X-Men really fought were other mutants. Occasionally they do battle with the Shi'ar and some aliens, the Brood, and some other stuff. But you never really saw them interact with other Marvel heroes unless there was some other Marvel event going on. And it was always the X-Men in a Marvel event, and the X-Men have their own event. And nobody was ever really coming to the aid of the X-Men, but the X-Men was always coming to the aid of everybody else. So I'm loving that they're saying now, nah, we're putting ourselves first. Whoever doesn't like it, too bad. So,
And see, that's where we part ways. Don't get me wrong. I like Hickman as a writer. One, because he rehabbed, like you said earlier, he rehabbed Black Panther after Marvel went on that tear of about what, a year and a half of basically putting T'Challa in his place right after
yeah,
Hudlin's run. And Hickman on
yeah,
his Fantastic Four run basically was the one. That's where he made T'Challa King of the Dead and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I love this Fantastic Four run. I was so on his Avengers one. I liked the fact that it was kind of Black Panther centric, but the incursion thing got so huge and cost so many books, and it took to follow the whole thing. It got expensive
yeah,
for me, truthfully, because
yeah. It did.
it went for like a year or two in like the new Avengers and Avengers books. Then it spread into that book that Cap had, and then before it finally kind of wrapped. Well, you had the Infinity crossover with Thanos, which
Over.
was part of it,
Yeah,
which then tied into that last Secret War crossover. And it was
Yeah.
like, yeah, it was so many books that I was like, yeah, I like it, but by that same token, sweet God in heaven, this is a hell of a lot of shit to be buying for one story. So I got a little shaky on that. His X-Men run, I think it's a great story. Where it loses me is I'm not sure it's a great X-Men story. It's interesting enough that I love following it. You know, I do not miss an issue comes out. Yeah, I'm checking it out. I love the way he's weaving it together. You have not had an X-Men write or weave a story together like that since Claremont.
Yep.
I will give you that. That part's neat. It feels a little too Ultimate X-Men for me. And the thing that eventually drove me out of the Ultimate books was you didn't really have heroes. I like, in other words, when I read an X-Men book, if they're fighting humans, yeah, I want the humans to be the clan and the X-Men to be the good guys. And when they went after the Mother Mold, I was actually pulling for the people, which was brand new for me. I mean, I was because it was hell. They were the underdog. Despite what they were there for, they were the underdog. They were the ones, hell, the one guy that blows himself up to take out the ship, and then his
I
wife,
thought that
hell,
was pretty.
yeah,
Yeah, I thought that was pretty cool that he did that.
the part where the wife is on her knees grieving over the loss of her husband, and Omega Sentinel basically goes, "You're gonna have to knuckle up, because if you don't, then your husband just sacrificed himself for nothing." And then when his wife got up, she wasn't about that shit. She was like, it's on blast from here on out. Suck Mystique out into space. And my favorite line of the book was when they caught Cyclops and he thought he was gonna be a prisoner. He was like, nah, you got it mixed up. You killed my husband. We ain't taking
Yeah.
prisoners today, and shotgunned him in the head. And I was like, damn, that was boss. I
Yeah.
shouldn't feel like that about the Klan. And I only feel like that because every time I want to pull for the mutants, you'll have Magneto say something that you go, yeah, if I was human in that world, I'd be like, yeah, go Sentinel. Because that ain't no, motherfucker, you ain't my God. And I ain't worshiping you. Or when Emma Frost is playing around with, the UN votes minds and stuff, which was both file and a plot hole. Well, if you got known telepaths, not just mutant telepaths, but telepaths, period, there ain't no way in hell the UN ain't got defenses to keep you from mucking with people's brain. They got power dampeners, they got something up in there. You can't get me to believe no different. This is a world, yeah, with literal gods walking the street. You're gonna do something to protect yourself. And then the Sabretooth thing where he basically slaughtered those people, those security guards, when they broke into damage control in the first issue. And Cyclops
Oh yeah.
basically going, "Oh no, he can't be touched." And then when they take him to jail, I mean to his trial, then Emma Frost basically comes in, "Oh no, 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 he can't be touched." Well, he did just murder a bunch of people that were literally just at their job. Nobody wants to go to job and get killed. And I mean that wasn't even an enemy. That was just the security guards at damage control. That's ordinary schmoes making $13 an hour, and they get slaughtered by some damn psychotic mutant. That's screaming, yeah, I need Sentinels, and I can't. Like I said, I love the story, but it's one of those kind of things where I go, yeah, I ain't pulling for none of you, and that
Well,
kind of bothers me.
I think with the Sabretooth, in respect to the Sabretooth thing, I think Cyclops was more saying, yeah, he did what he did, but um, we'll take care of him. This is a mutant issue, so we'll police our own. We're not going to leave him to humans to police him because we know, even if he wasn't guilty, you guys would still say he was guilty.
Yeah,
So in
except he
that
was actually
respect,
guilty.
well, yeah, he was guilty.
And
So in that
he
respect,
had done that on Xavier's orders. That wasn't a rogue operation. That was literally how they found out that there was a Sentinel installation. Was the
I don't
damage
think he was.
control?
I don't think he was supposed to go off because the kind of Mystique's reaction was. I don't think he was supposed to go off and kill anybody
No, he
like
wasn't.
that.
No, he wasn't.
So,
But let's be honest. If you sent Sabretooth into a mission, ain't like Sabretooth is brand new. He gonna kill somebody.
yeah, he is.
Yeah, I put this rabid pit bull in the daycare center. How was I to know that it was gonna bite, 4 or 5 children?
Now, as when they were on the Master Bowl, now, I was rooting for the X-Men. I thought, now, anybody who knows me is a good friend of mine, Max. He's probably the number one Wolverine fan. I have never been a Wolverine fan. Anybody who knows, I'm not a huge Wolverine fan. I think he's been like Deadpool. He's been spread out everywhere, done to death.
He's over.
It's
I'm a
about
Wolverine fan, and he's over. He's overexposed,
yeah,
or at least he was.
it's about 1,000. Yeah. So when him and Nightcrawler went out, before that scene when he's asking, hey, Nightcrawler,
You think I'm gonna go
what's
to hell?
heaven gonna be like? Yeah, what's it gonna be like for somebody like me? That was probably the most human I've ever seen Wolverine.
True, I will give you that one. Yeah.
He was basically like, well, look, I'm about to die, and I know I'm gonna die. I like the fact that Wolverine and even Nightcrawler was like, we know we're gonna die, but this has to be done for the sake of our people. So Nightcrawler gave him that speech. That was nice. It was touching because they are,
Yeah, they're
touching like
buddies.
that. They are supposed to be best friends. Yeah, they're
Yeah.
buddies.
Yeah, they're buddies.
So I like that. I thought when they tell him when he got him into space, and Wolverine just would not go down. He just kept going. Nobody could not tell me at that moment that Wolverine was probably the hardest mutant out, let alone hero out. Period. He was just like,
that was a boss move.
Yeah. Nobody could ever say, "Oh, Wolverine's a punk." No, he's not. No, he's definitely not a punk. I like that part. I didn't like the way Jean was portrayed. I thought Jean kind of was like the helpless damsel in distress. She was probably the most powerful one there on that team, aside from Monet. And she was kind of just like, "Oh my God, everybody's dying. What am I going to do?" And yell and screaming, and that was it. She didn't really do much. When she probably could have done a lot more.
I always
So
wondered
I
if
wasn't.
I always wondered if she was basically the link, especially once you find out what you find out later. I wonder
Yeah.
if there was a reason why I think she was literally just kind of the boost to make sure Xavier was getting everybody's updated mental condition.
Well, I know from me doing my own digging and surmising and stuff, and I did like a whole on the World's Greatest Geeks Facebook page. I did a whole thing where I thought what I thought of it. I know he uses Cerebro, and he does have, I believe, other telepaths, but they haven't been shown. They didn't say who that do help him when they're backing up everybody's
brain. Yeah.
Yeah, and everything else. And so I believe that aspect, jumping into that, I love that idea. I mean, somebody did tell me, "Oh, well, you got to end in the group. Oh, you've got an endless supply of terrorist soldiers if they wanted to go that route or whatever." Um, I love that aspect because okay, they died, but they can't. But he's able to bring them back, and I think he got that idea from Moira, since the way they retconned her that you had so many lives or whatever. I like that. I kind of don't like the fact that they hinted that there's a cap on how many lives she has. Like she doesn't keep on reincarnating. I think she caps off at like 10 or 12, and then that's it.
Yeah, I think what Destiny told her is you fated for 10, but if you do everything just right, you'll get 11.
Yeah. So I like that she remembers everything that happened because then she's kind of when she lives her lives, whatever, all the way up to the future, whatever, they kind of get that information. She comes back, Professor, read my mind. This is what happened. So I kind of think that like people are trying to say he's mind controlled or it's not Professor X. I saw one guy say that this is Professor X from the Ultimate Universe and not the regular Professor X. And I was like, dude, Professor X from the Ultimate Universe has been dead 5, 6, 7 years now. Like he's been dead a long time. I don't think that they brought him back. Some people were trying to say that it's the Maker, the Ultimate Reed Richards, because he always has the Cerebro on. So they're like, oh, well, this is not the Professor X, this is the Maker. I don't think it's any of that. I think
No,
it is Charles.
it's definitely not the Maker because he's in Absolute Carnage.
Exactly. He's
Yeah.
over there at Absolute Carnage. So I believe it is Charles. I think Charles has just said, like when he says, there's a guy named Anthony Hutchinson, when Charles, and he reminded me of that. When Charles goes down and he says, no more. When they die, I think this is Charles saying, you know what? Time and time again, we sacrifice ourselves for humans. We protect humans. We do whatever. They hate us. They fear us. And they kill us. And we're dying for it.
You know
And
what
for protecting something different. And I think he said, we're not doing it anymore.
You know what I think a lot of people missed? If you look at that, is it the second issue? It's the one that basically reveals that Mara McTaggart is basically reincarnating. If you notice, the time she goes to Charles and goes, read my mind, it says in the caption, and Charles Xavier was radicalized at that point.
Exactly.
It's
and
the actual Charles Xavier. It's just, he's radicalized.
People skipped over that. They like, oh, this is not Charles. But you see that there was a change.
Yeah.
If I was a peaceful person, let's use it in the terms that people love to put, that Professor X and Magneto are Dr. King and Brother Malcolm. if you were Dr. King and somebody came to you from a light future, whatever, and said, look, I can show you this. Showed you in some way, telepathy, video, whatever. Hey, this is what happens.
Yeah.
Every time you do this,
none of this is going to work.
None of this is going to work. Every time you do this, you die horrifically, and everybody around you dies. I kind of think he would say, I think I need to change tactics.
Yeah.
Any sane person would say, well, you know what? If I keep doing this and I keep dying, it's like if you keep banging your head against the wall and getting a concussion, what's the next logical thing to do? Stop banging your head against the wall so you won't get a concussion, right?
Yeah.
So Charles said, well, like, we've died 7 times doing this. It's time to do something else.
Yeah, this doesn't work. And like I said, it makes sense from a story point of view. Again, I love the story from a superhero point of view. It don't work because superheroes are supposed to be kind of self-sacrificing. Well, because they've literally known about Days of Future Past since the 80s. They have. They've known. You've had Cable come from after it and go, yeah, it's fucked up. You had Bishop come from it and go, yeah, it's fucked up. In fact, when Bishop was like, we need to kill Hope because Hope is going to put us all in concentration camps, they jumped on Bishop.
Yeah.
And that's,
but you know what? I read something. The brother did say this before everybody else.
Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah.
We need to do something else. And nobody listened to him. But I did read where they put, I don't know if it was Comic Book Resources or something else. They put up an article and they were saying, this is how the X-Men probably should have been in that era, 90 to 2000. Because like you said, you had Cable telling them, hey, this ain't going to work.
Yeah.
You had Bishop saying, hey, this ain't going to work. Then they should have said, hey, let's change. We need to make this change. They could have done it back then. But I don't think fandom would have been ready for it. Fandom is going bonkers now, but I don't think they would have been ready. They would definitely not have been ready for it back then. I think I don't think fandom was mature enough back then to see something like that. You still had the X-Men cartoon fresh in people's minds and stuff like that. So I don't think fandom would have reacted well to it at all. Now you kind of have sides. Some people like it, some people don't. And then there's, I guess a few down the middle. Back then, you really, really, really couldn't do anything different or outside of the normal with your comic characters because people would be like look at Death of Superman.
Yeah.
People were threatening to people were crying in the streets. people were like, "Oh my, I've never read another DC book again. They killed my hero."
Yeah.
And it was like, "Beautiful comic. You know he's coming back." Like,
Oh,
what are
he's
you
not
talking
gone
about?
forever.
Yeah, like he's never gonna. It's like he's coming back.
But see, that
Like
was
literally.
my thing with that was now if you'd asked me in the 80s, yeah, what would you have done if you were a mutant? Yeah, I'd always been I'd been Magneto. I mean, I would
Yeah,
have been. But the thing is, Magneto being Magneto makes a certain amount of sense to me. I still don't like
yes,
his motivation because here's the trick. Here's the thing that when Magneto makes his statements in Hickman's run, or when Frost, is manipulating people's minds and stuff like that. Here's what I don't like about it, and I've said this on other podcasts.
I know where you're going. Go ahead.
It's not replacing an unjust system. It's just changing your place in it. And
Yeah,
that's where I have a problem with it. If you were going, originally Magneto has had times where he's like, I'm starting this over here. I don't give a damn what you do. I just don't interact with you at all. Or if
yeah,
you went, I'm going to tear this damn thing down to the bedrock and I'm going to create something in its place that's fair, I'd literally be right along with them, even if they were rough in doing it. It's I'm going to be just like you, and yet still the thing I don't like about it right now, and I've said this before on Facebook, they feel very white to me. In other words, I do a bunch of dirt and then try and play the victim afterward. It feels like at an Amber Geiger chick on the stand. It's
yeah.
I broke into your
They,
house. Yeah, I shot an innocent person, but look at me, I'm a poor little white girl. Let me start crying, and all of a sudden I'm the fucking victim. I ain't cool with that. And that's
well,
what the X-Men literally feel like to me is, I got power, I'm making these moves, there's something that's literally shady about what I'm doing. But because I'm a put upon victim, some kind of way I'm still a victim in this, and I'm using that victim card to kind of cover up the dirt that I'm pulling. And see, I can't rock with that. I'd rather they just be just flat out fucking terrorists. If they just flat out went, this whole system is screwed, it's been screwed, and we're gonna tear this son bitch down to the bedrock, I'm right there with you. Do it. But don't try and play, oh, but I just did all this dirt, but I'm the real victim here. No, 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 you ain't. No. You just like boo-foo people's minds, and the drug thing even is shady. I think the fact, because if you notice whenever Hickman when he ever has text and he highlights the text, even when it comes to
yeah,
the back when it's showing the issues, if you notice those highlighted things are always kind of important to the story. Did you
yeah.
notice out of all the countries that said no to a mutant nation, Wakanda
Wakanda was
was
highlighted.
highlighted? And
Yeah,
their reason was different than everybody else's. Everybody else was either like political, like Latveria was
or,
political and all this. Wakanda
or
was like, we don't need
ideological.
mutant drugs.
Yeah. Wakanda was like, "No, we don't need. No, we
No,
don't
we don't
need you.
need your
We don't
shit.
need that."
Keep it. And the thing is, I almost wonder, is that because T'Challa and Wakanda recognize a colonizer when they see one, or did Storm pull his coattail? No, boo, you don't want that shit in here. Cause
Well,
Black Panther is one of the few books that is actually going along with Hickman's story in the wider Marvel universe.
yep, yep. No other book. You're right. No other book is really.
Well, there's one more. Invaders. That Invaders book that's out right now.
Oh yes,
That's
yes,
dealing
yes,
with
yes, yes.
Namor. Yeah, they
Yeah,
mention Krakoa in it.
yeah,
But
yeah.
those are the only two books in the wider Marvel universe that acknowledge that what's going on in Hickman's book is going on. And I wonder if Storm didn't pull T'Challa's coattail and go, "Nah, you don't want that shit in here."
Well, I kind of the as going with the highlighted thing. I kind of want to see because you remember when they said in the latest issue of Powers of X, "Hey, we need Sebastian Shaw back
Mm-hmm.
because we need him to
The black
run
market.
this the black market. We need him to run these drugs underground to different countries." So what I want to see, I wonder if there's going to be some kind of conflict, like if they're going to try to run those drugs into Wakanda.
Oh, if they
I
do
would be
that, if
interested
you
to
do
see.
that, all hell gonna break loose.
I would be interested to see that because I think in all of Marvel Earth right now, um, I honestly think the only place that can go to war with Krakoa right now is Wakanda. I don't think the U.S. can do it. I don't think they have the resources yet.
No, they can't.
Um, and a
Latveria
lot of it,
probably can.
yeah, Latveria might
Yeah,
be because it's
yeah,
Doom,
yeah.
and
You
Doom
can't
can,
play Doom
yeah,
weak.
yeah, you can't play Doom weak. Um, so I would be very interested to see what happened. Plus, I think from a technological standpoint, um, like I remember when you and I were talking, and you were like, "Hey, what's up with Forge? Like, where's Forge?"
Yeah,
And
I did
Forge is
like
the
that. I
thing that
saw him.
everything.
That,
And then you see Forge, and then you see the backstory of what he's doing,
yeah,
and then in the text they even say it how Forge is creating this whole new biological technology
yeah,
from Krakoa,
yeah,
and like he's mastered it faster than anybody.
yeah. That that
So
that was neat because that's been the fun thing about Hickman's run is every time you think you know what the hell's going on, you end up finding out it's not going on. Because
yeah,
did you notice in the text, Sync is alive again,
yes,
and you know
they
they knocked off Sync shit hell back in
early,
the 90s.
yeah, but he's back. But like you said, Professor X has been. Magneto hinted at it. He said in that book, he said right now we're at this number. 6 months from now, we'll be at this number of many mutants.
Yeah,
6 months after that, we'll be at this many number. So he's saying, hey, we're basically saying, we bringing them dead mutants back
yeah,
to
we're
life.
bringing them all back. Yeah,
They're all coming back, and we're gonna be a world superpower. And my hope is that when this is over, this run is over, um, which is next issue, that it doesn't just go to back to status quo, X-Men living in a mansion, um,
well,
hiding out from the humans and,
well,
and, and,
that
and
won't
all
be
that.
it because they already announced. Hell, the Marauders have a book.
Exactly.
You
They
got the
all they
X-Men books.
Yep, and the Marauders are run by, and this is where I was talking with somebody online. It's the guy who started the group Extraordinary Journey of a Black
Back
Nerd.
nerd.
I forget his name. Yeah, I forgot his name. It's the guy who started the group though. He has another thing going on Twitter, and I was talking to him through the group in Twitter. And somebody else, and I was talking to him and somebody else, and I was saying, um, what they were like, oh, this is a dream, or this is all Mr. Sinister, and I'm like, they already announced the books. Like they put those books out there front and center
Yeah,
right when they announced House of X.
yeah,
Boom. So unless Marvel went through all of that press and all that time
for
to
nothing.
go psych, no, we're not doing those books. It's status quo, which is going to piss a lot of people off because they've done interviews about the books. I've read interviews. In fact, I've read interviews where I read an interview just where Hickman said if he had to pick any favorite book, it was going to be The Marauders. The Marauders was going to be that's his favorite book that's going to be out from the new X titles, and that's the one I'm looking forward to. You got my man Bishop running around on there,
Yeah, I saw
so
that.
I got to look at that. I also got to take a look at Excalibur because I think he said that would be his second favorite book because you got my man Apocalypse there, and I've been an Apocalypse fan since Inside Benur was
Yeah,
way back.
yeah, you and me
Since
both.
matter of fact, I've been a fan of his since we were talking since because he was black
Yeah, yeah.
since when X Factor
Back when
when
he
he
was Brown in X Factor.
exactly.
Yep.
So I've been a fan of his since then. I'm like, whoa, look at this dude, like he's the man. So I want to see. I mean, I'm still upset that he's gray with the big blue lips. I'm still not feeling that, but I think they could do something a little better. But um, I like the fact that he's Apocalypse, and he even said it when he first came to Krakoa. And Wolverine's like, look, Bob, like Wolverine is basically in that issue. He was the reader's point. Like, what? All
Yeah,
these villains here. Like
yeah,
you tried to kill us all the time. Like he's like, so what are you gonna do, Bob? Like, we need to hear you say it. We need to hear you say you down with us, or you ain't going one step further. Basically, that was another hardest out moment for Wolverine because he was the only one talking about, nah, you ain't going nowhere, Chief, until you say what I need to hear you say. And Apocalypse said, look, Why would I be against this? Like, I've wanted mutants like this all along. I've always said survival of the fittest. Mutants are the fittest. We should be ruling this earth. And he's like, look at you now, my children. You're exactly how I wanted you to be.
I'm proud
Of
of
course. I'm proud of you. Yep, prop. Let's shake the hand. I kiss the ring. Whatever you want me to do. I'm proud of you. You're doing what I wanted you to do. So no, we don't got no problems.
What'd you think about
He's like,
Namor's reaction?
I
know-
said it in the group. Namor's gonna Namor. Um, that is the perfect Namor reaction. Namor saying, "Okay, you finally, you're on the path to thinking like me."
Yeah.
Because Namor never once thought he was inferior to anyone. So Namor's like, "Okay, so you starting to think like me, but do you mean it?"
Yeah.
He's like, "Do you really?"
Yeah. Come
you
back.
really
Come
really-
back when you mean it. Like I need you
When you
to
mean
tell me I'm better than everybody. Good
Yeah.
Lord, dude.
And I know I'm better than you. So like he's saying like, let me know. If you mean, are you ready to take whatever steps that are necessary? He knows Magneto. You know Magneto. Magneto said it, Charles. If I catch you simping,
Yeah.
it's going to be a problem.
Yeah. I'm gonna be there to basically do what you want.
Will do. So if don't be simping, Charles. Don't do it. But Namor saying the same thing. Namor's gonna Namor, and he's like, "Look, you ain't serious, dog. Like I see right through you. Like if you serious. I see you serious with the people. If you serious, if you ready to start really taking some people's heads, call me up. Until then, man, get out of my face with that." And I kind of dug it because Namor's like, you ain't down. You ain't ready to kill nobody real for real. You ain't ready to walk in the Oval Office and say you're out of here.
But see, I'm betting you that you're gonna have. I don't know when you'll have it, but I'm betting you're gonna have one more life of Moira's, because even what she's doing now, reading piles of 10, it don't work. Even what they're doing now doesn't work.
Well, I just looked at something, right? It was on YouTube. I forget, and I'll shout them out in the credits later. I did put the article up in the group. I looked at this YouTube video, and I don't really subscribe to YouTube videos and YouTube theories and stuff like that because a lot of them pan out to be wrong, or a lot of them are people showing their bias and how, I think so and so should do this because I like the character and this is why, and not thinking logically. But this one was kind of not like that, and they're kind of saying that Professor X has another end game. That the whole thing going, they think the whole thing going with the phalanx and stuff like that. Professor X is kind of using this knowledge because he's also trying to stop. That he's trying to stop the coming of the phalanx, and that he's trying to maybe show humans, hey, if we don't find a way to coexist, because as you saw at the end, the phalanx, they're saying that phalanx are going to destroy the planet.
Yeah.
They're going to consume the earth and go. He's basically going to take that knowledge to them and say, hey, if we don't find a way to coexist, this is what's going to happen.
There's only one trick to that. There's no way for him to know. Moira never lives past X-Men year 100. Her oldest life is 107.
Well, their theory is that, which is where I started, because that's what I said. Well, they didn't live. How's it going to find this out? Their theory is there's a couple of people that are humans that they're blue skin, and that those are mutants, and that the girl that's there, one of them, that she has a helmet that's similar to Cerebro, that's Moira, and that she has that sinister mixture with some apocalypse genes and stuff like that, and that's how she's so long lived.
Yeah,
she's lived to that time,
that would
and
make
that
sense.
and that she's that's how she's there, and she takes that memory back to Charles to say, hey, this is what happens. We have to stop this.
That's been the fun thing for me reading it. Because like I said, I stopped looking at it as like a superhero story. I just like the story. Humans are concerned with stopping mutants. Mutants right now are concerned with like taking over. And AI takes them all out.
Yes.
So if they don't unite against AI, they're all fucked because humanity is in a zoo.
Yeah. Now
what's left of humanity is in a zoo, and the phalanx are
Yes.
about to destroy they're about to absorb all the consciousness of the machines and destroy the Earth.
Now, I like Hickman's theory. I don't know if that's an actual scientific theory or not. I know a lot of his stuff he does base in fact. With black holes being like a cluster of civilizations that became so intelligent,
Yeah,
um,
that was
that it
neat.
became so dense that it collapsed on itself, and that's where the black hole is. I like that because that's basically the premise of Nova's the World Mind, and I
Yeah,
like how
yeah,
Hickman even showed in the back the World Mind there.
yeah, yeah. It
He
was
was.
neat.
I think he should have included what is that thing with the Kree? Um,
The Supreme Intelligence.
Supreme Intelligence. Yes, I think he should have included that at, to an extent because that's basically the same thing. He was the sum intelligence of the entire Kree civilization, so he probably could have thrown that in there. But I can dig it. He didn't. So um, I like that idea. Like Hickman is a sci-fi guy, so I've like he did the Avengers was more of a sci-fi story
Yeah,
than a superhero story.
yeah,
Same with the Fantastic Four, which the Fantastic Four should always be a big, huge science fiction story first, because that's basically what they are, a science super team. So they should always be that way. Some people try to run them as just a regular superhero team.
and they
I
don't work.
I don't think it works. That's why the book always ends up getting canceled because you're trying to do them as regular superheroes, and they're not. They're science. They got their powers from doing scientific exploration. So I think you should run them like a science team and not like a regular superhero team. Same thing with the X Men. The X Men is science fiction. It's what if humans were different? What if they had extra genes? You can't really do them like a straightforward, hi, we're a superhero team. Somebody's robbing the bank. Let's go stop them. That's not what they do. Sure, I'm sure if they were, if Scott and Gina walking down the street sipping some coffee, somebody busts out from the bank and uh and they're shooting people, yeah, they could be like, oh, okay, let's stop the bank robbers, whatever. Though I kind of think that with the way things are now, they should be like, well, that's a human problem, not a mutant problem. Let the humans deal with that and keep it moving. It's
Trick
kind
is
of like
other than let's see, other than Astonishing X-Men, that first run, and when they had Haven, they're outside of San Francisco.
yeah,
They pretty much do that. They don't. Cyclops in Astonishing was basically, yeah, we're gonna act more like a superhero team. So remember,
yeah,
like the Fantastic Four's fighting the monster, and they show up to help fight it.
right, yeah,
Or San Francisco, they basically made the deal with the mayor. Because San Francisco, if you a longtime X-Men reader, was always friendly to the X-Men, even when they were
yes,
outlaws. So
yes.
they would kind of stay there and kind of operate as the San Francisco super team. So it kind of worked. But for the most part, the X-Men did always just kind of go, we handle our shit. If it's a mutant something, if it's a crazy mutant, we're there. If it's a mutant hating human were there. Even the alien stuff that they dealt with, it was usually them getting shanghaied and kind of brought into it. They wasn't never,
Into it,
you know, it wasn't never that kind of thing. It was like, you got the Avengers to handle the Masters of Evil. And like some of
yeah.
the rare times, like I can remember back in the Atlantis Attack annuals where they tried to fight the Serpent Society and got their ass handed to them. So it was because I remember being mad as hell. I was like, man, reading the damn X-Men annual, what the hell they got their ass beat? Damn, don't Cap usually fight this whole damn team by himself?
But by itself, yes.
Your, your power having ass ran up in there and got spanked. What the hell is this? But yeah, it's like I said, I'm enjoying the story. I'm curious as to where once it breaks off into separate books. Well, considering all the bad guys live on that, who the hell are you fighting? Because
Well,
if it's literally, 4 or 5 books of them nation building, I'm gonna get bored real quick.
yeah. Well, I know the Maraud is them going out to save mutants worldwide. So they're probably going to have some new enemies, whatever. They're going to have to come up with some new ones. I know, and they're backed by the Hellfire Club.
Yeah,
That's where the money's coming from for them. I know Excalibur is dealing with Otherworld. because his sister, Captain Britain's sister, Megan, she become not Megan,
Psylocke.
Psylocke, she becomes the new Captain Britain.
Oh, okay.
So they're dealing with issues with Otherworld. So that's gonna probably take more of a magical bet or whatever, or they may be like in different dimensions or whatever else. I know the New Mutants actually take place in space.
Oh, okay.
They get in Shanghai, they're going into space, they're gonna be with the Starjammers.
Okay.
So they're gonna be out, so they'll probably come across the phalanx out there. Because Cypher's gonna be up there. So that's what they're doing. Um the other team, X-Force team, is basically like the CIA of the X-Men. So if governments are plotting against the X-Men, plotting against mutants, that's the team that knows about it. They got the information. They go in. They nip that in the butt.
I
And then you got
really though hope that they don't use this to break up Storm and T'Challa again over some mutant
that would be
shit.
so corny. Yep, just leave them. T'Challa's like, no, we don't want your drugs. The X-Men are like, okay. Their relationship should have nothing to do. I mean, you put them back together, fine. Their relationship should have nothing to do with
It shouldn't.
with what's going on with the mutants. Just like it should have nothing to do with what's going on in Wakanda. Nothing at all. It should have nothing to do with it. He's like, oh, you're doing that over there? All right, well, good luck. I hope you have, if you're all right, holler at me when you finish. And then she's like, oh, you taking care of that? Well, give me a call when you're done, and we'll meet up.
Because that's kind of like we were talking earlier, where you got Sebastian Shaw with the countries that don't want the drugs, we don't funnel the drugs in there.
Now
And
that
you
I
go
think if they're
sneaking
going
your
to try
ass
to
into
do it,
Wakanda, you're gonna come back.
Wakanda, it's
You're
going
gonna
to be a
come back
problem.
FedExed.
Yes, in a lot of little boxes. So I'm wondering if something like that happens, if Storm's going to step up and be like, no, we're not, nope, we're not going over there.
Cause see the
And
trick
if
to
you were,
the trick to that is if they played the cards like should make sense, the X-Men are already in Wakanda. Cause Storm's
yeah,
there.
because Storm's there. So maybe Storm is,
T'Challa
maybe,
ain't gonna like nuke you or no shit unless you fuck with him. You know,
yeah.
that's one of them. Just chill the hell out and be cool.
So I mean, if they kind of make Storm like the de facto drug dealer in Wakanda, I'm going to be
Yeah,
pissed.
I ain't gonna be
But
happy about that.
yeah, but if Storm should be there, and if they try to do it, she should be like, nah, we're not doing that here. And if you do it, when they come to kill you, look,
Yeah,
I
I'm
don't
gonna
know
help.
nothing.
Yeah,
I'm a help.
I'm
I'm
gonna
I'm
help.
I'm I'm I'll blow you away. Like, so don't come here because you're gonna make me pick sides.
Yeah,
So I think they should stay out of Wakanda.
I'm
You saw
super
what happened
hoping
to
they
the
don't do
Skrull.
that.
Yeah.
And hell, that was that
So
was that was before T'Challa had his own version of Shield.
exactly.
Cause it ain't like he ain't got the agents running around that hell I think has
Yeah, yeah.
pretty much snapped up every B list and D list hero hell you ever heard
Heroes
of.
exactly. Which I know to segue into that just a little bit. I know in the Agents of Wakanda right now they're about to run into Sentry.
Yeah.
I was kind of hoping, hey, maybe they might, T'Challa, I can help you, Sentry, and he kind of becomes the Agent of Shield. I don't know. It's probably not going to happen. And if that's not the case, then I kind of hope he busts out a big old Sentry Buster armor and kicks his ass.
Yeah, that would be
We'll
funny.
see.
That'd be funny.
Yeah.
Because
We'll see.
this is segueing into something that's just comics in general. This past week, you had Black Panther, Agents of Wakanda, and then you had Strike Force come out
Yes.
last week. That wasn't half
Now,
bad either.
Strikeforce, did you? Yeah, I read it. I was kind of like, maybe it was the art, maybe it was
The
the
art is
writing, maybe it was
not
the
great.
comic.
The art is
No,
not great.
I don't think for that. I know they're trying to run it like maybe a horror book or something, a horror superhero book. I think the only book that's doing that correct right now is Hulk.
Yeah.
Unless there's some other book that I haven't read yet, I think Hulk is doing that correct. And Hulk is about to, from what I've read, Hulk is about to take it to the next step, and he's about to take it into the sci-fi genre now.
Yeah.
He's about to show you
The next universe,
iteration.
isn't it the next universe or
Yeah,
something like that? Yeah.
the next iteration of the Marvel universe. Yeah, so I'm eager to see that. Matter of fact, I was reading that Marvel Tales book or whatever it is that Mark Waid is doing.
Yeah, the Tales of Marvel Universe book.
Yeah, and it was actually interesting because Galactus and Franklin at the end of the universe.
Yeah.
And they're saying how Galactus is going to be the cause one to birth the new universe. Like he's about to die, he's about to explode. He knows it. He's going to die. When he dies, he's going to explode, and he's going to birth the whole universe. And Franklin Richards is the only one there as well.
Yeah. Franklin will likely be the Galactus of the next universe.
Yeah.
Because that's basically him as Galen. You know, Galen was the last survivor, the one before, and then Franklin will probably be the last survivor of this one.
If you read it, it was basically Galen's fault that this universe, this current universe, came into being because it was his ship.
Yeah.
That crashed into those energies and made the Big Bang. Galactus was born. So basically, all those cosmic abstracts, Galactus is older than all of them.
Yeah.
Because he was there before them. He was just an energy form.
Well, you know, they've always said that Galactus was it brother to eternity and twin to death. So he's always been one of those that was
probably more important than all of them.
Yeah. Well, you know, that was the trial of Reed Richards, is basically when you find out that if Galactus dies, that's pretty much it for that universe.
For that universe, yeah. That if he dies, then
he was kind of the fulcrum that kept everything in balance. And without him, that was it. Because, you know, even the Watcher was the one that got Reed off because he broke his oath and testified for him. And that was the thing, was like, yeah, you know, I know you hate Galactus and all this, but no Galactus, all of you die. He's kind of the be all and end all around here.
Yeah, he was the balance. So that I'm digging the segue into that. But back on the X-Men. I don't know, man. It's gonna be like, I'm an Avengers guy.
Yeah, I am too.
I used to be an X-Men guy. I used to be an X-Men guy back in the Claremont days. And when he left the book, I was even still an X-Men guy when Scott Lobdell was like the head writer on the book. And then when they moved into Grant Morrison and then Bendis, I completely dropped the titles.
Bendis,
I don't care what anybody says.
I thought Bendis' run was just pure crap. Morrison was one of those. I loved it when he was gone. Even though, you know, Hickman is a huge fan of that. That's the reason why he erased all the history just up to Grant Morrison's run. And I was kind of like, you could have took that shit out too, because I thought the leather jacket wearing X-Men, that shit was garbage.
Yeah. That was like a porn fest waiting to happen to me. Like, you're on leather. What are they? Dominatrix or something? Dominance? Like, I didn't like that. Beast into a giant cat. I just thought a lot of it was corny.
Yeah, he was the one, you know, came up with secondary mutations that just popped out of
like that.
Just popped out of people's ass. Yeah.
Yeah.
The diamond and the frost, the cat beast, all that kind of shit was Morrison.
The only thing I liked that Morrison did was Phantom X. That's it. That's the only thing I like that came out of his run with Phantom X. I thought he was a pretty cool character. That was it. Other than that, I was not a fan. And then when Bendis took over, I think that was a shit show. I think Bendis was a shit show on the X-Men.
Yeah. Bendis has been a shit show in just about every book he touched. I am not a fan. The only thing I will give Bendis made Luke Cage a mainstream Marvel hero. Yeah.
Yes, that, and I'll give him.
And he created Miles.
Yes,
he created Miles and Ironheart. Yeah.
Yep. So I'll give him those three things. Other than that, I'm not a Bendis fan. I can't his writing. Now, he does co-write Naomi with David Walker, but you see Bendis when it comes to the Talking Heads part. Because Bendis is a Talking Heads writer, which kind of drives me a little bit crazy because it's not like I like Talking Heads, because Claremont was a Talking Heads writer too, but it was interesting. So if it's interesting talk, it's great. When Bendis does Talking Heads, to me, it's just more gibberish. They're just babbling on.
Bendis, to me, always seemed to like suffer from ADD, because you couldn't get its continuity was like a concept that he could not grasp, even when he was only right on the book. Because I know his Powers run was the same way. You'd be like, huh? This don't make sense. And it feels like it changed writers, but hell, it's all you. How the hell do you not remember what in the hell you wrote?
I think we talked about this. Like you could tell when he was about to do something
Yep.
new because he'll be writing something and then the writing will go to shit and
Yep.
then something new will pop up.
Yep.
And then he'll be like, oh, okay, this is something new. And then the writing will go to shit. You're like, oh, he's about to do something else.
Yep.
And then something new will pop up.
Yep.
So I was just like, nah, I'm not. I mean, Marvel gave him a lot of leeway. They
Yeah,
pushed him to the moon
they ran with the whole X-Men from the past thing way too damn long.
too long. Oh, that was way
Way
too
too long.
I was so happy when they said, okay, enough's enough. Let's end this.
Yeah.
I was happy when it ended.
Yeah.
Because I thought that was you knew time machine was at a whack. One, Hank McCoy should stay away from the time machine.
Yeah.
Because he keeps fucking it up. So you knew the time machine was at a whack because your past self could interact with your present self or future self and there not be any consequences.
Yeah.
So you knew something was wrong.
And then when you start making it where the past self could differentiate from the present,
Yeah.
you kind of sitting there going, well, one, how the hell don't you remember all of this?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So now it's like they became separate characters.
Yeah.
They're not even that person anymore. So it's kind of like what?
Yeah.
Like what? Huh?
That was a story that went on way too damn long.
So
they showed up for a little bit, they took their ass home, that's fine, but they had what, 2 or 3 different iterations of like their own book. Yeah, dude, I don't need all that.
I didn't even like I didn't even like the X-Men when they were doing the whole Age of X-Men and that run with the X-Men, like you said, they were dying like every other issue.
Yeah.
Every issue there was somebody died. Somebody died. Let's kill this person. Let's kill that person. Let's kill this person. I was just like, what is the purpose?
I think the only thing I liked about Uncanny while that was going on is it felt really, really gritty. It felt like, to me, it kind of felt like a long what if. Because when they would go into it, it was like, well, hell, maybe they'll live through this, maybe they won't.
Yeah.
So at least you had that tension. It felt like, remember the book that they used to have back in the day called New X-Men? It was about when you had all like the little teenage X-Men and shit like that they didn't give a damn about. So hell, they'd murk them left and right. You be sitting there going, oh man, they gonna make this mission. Boom! Oh shit! Somebody blew up the bus they were on. Never mind.
Yeah.
Damn.
So
my favorite mutant was on there.
So it was like that. So I was kind of like, but I was holding on because I knew Hickman was coming.
Yeah.
So I kind of kept it, I kept in touch with the books. Oh, let me see what's going on. Okay, this is trash. But like I said, I've always been an Avengers guy, always. Now with what Hickman is doing, well, I mean, I'm still going to be an Avengers guy. Black Panther's running the team. What I like about it is the Avengers finally gave Black Panther his just due. Like, it took this long just to make him the chairman. Like, hell. I mean, if you want to go into the popularity of the movie of it, I mean, he had, the biggest solo movie?
Yep.
From Marvel?
Yep. Still got the biggest solo movie from Marvel.
Still the biggest solo movie. You see, he's got, like we were discussing it, now he's got the big movie slot, the big May slot.
Yep. Though
they usually drop the Avengers
I haven't had a chance to read the article yet, but it looks like now that Spidey's back in the MCU, they are sticking Spider-Man in a 2021 slot or something like that. I haven't had a chance to read it yet, but I saw a thing that was saying you're gonna have four movies in 2021 now.
Well, Black Panther's coming in 2022. So
yeah, that is right.
They put Spider-Man in 2021, and then 2022, Black Panther's going to be the headline. I'm mad that it's taken so long. That is almost like it's like 2.5 years or whatever for the next Black Panther movie. Almost 3 years, but I'm here for it.
Yeah, I'm here for it. Like I said, I can't remember if that was your brother that put that up or not, but I know I made mention on it that I was kind of like, I'm cool with that just because I don't really want Black Panther 2 in Phase 4 because I think Phase 4 is gonna jump the shark. I don't have a hell of a lot of faith in it.
I'm not Phase 4. I'm not feeling the Eternals.
No.
You got to show me more.
You got here's the thing: is Phase 4 for me is it's got too many characters that one obscure as hell that nobody cares about, and
Yeah.
you and it's going. Hell, I ain't gonna lie, and it's too much of it is starting to look like the all new Marvel phase of the books, which closed up 100 comic shops and had retailers in open revolt, and it just ain't. It's different if you want to replace one or so. If you basically rip the band-aid off, you take the chance of pulling the scab with it, and I think that's what it is. I think that's what they're gonna do. If well, okay, Cap ain't Cap, Iron Man ain't Iron Man, Thor ain't Thor, Hulk ain't Hulk. You gonna look up, people gonna go, yeah, y'all can have this shit. Yeah.
Well, I think with Thor, right? I think their caveat is Thor has Stormbreaker. He doesn't have Mjolnir, so he has Stormbreaker, and I think Thor's going to be, which I think is what uh what's his name? The guy who plays Thor wanted to do.
Hemsworth.
I think Thor's going to be more with the Guardians of the Galaxy. More like this next Guardians of the Galaxy movie that drops, Thor's going to be in it.
Yeah.
Thor's going to be running with Guardians of the Galaxy. I don't think he's going to be more of Thor. Odinson is going to be more cosmic. He's going to be out there in space, and I think you're going to have Jane on Earth. I actually only think that they're doing Jane Foster Thor because the comic book run was so popular. So I think they said, hey, let's see how well it translates. It might translate well, but it could backfire really big.
Yeah, that's the
potentially
reason. That's the reason why on when they had Comic-Con and everybody's like, well, they put all these new movies up, and at that time Black Panther was noticeably absent, Captain Marvel was noticeably absent, Guardians of the Galaxy is noticeably absent. And they're like, well, why is that? I said, because Phase 4 feels like Phase 1 of the DCEU. This is their throw the spaghetti up against the wall phase.
See if it sticks.
And and when the shit flops like it probably gonna flop. Well, the MCU's not damaged because now I can bring in Black Panther 2 and now it's profitable again. If Captain Marvel makes any kind of way close to what the first one made, it's profitable again. Guardians of the Galaxy is a known hit, so it's profitable again. People were actually excited about Blade because they didn't even stick Blade in Phase 4. It was like, we go save the shit that people might actually want to see. We'll throw Doctor Strange in there and we'll kind of throw Thor in there, so this phase ain't just complete crap. But I think you have a freakish chance of this pulling a Star Wars on them. It's kind of like I've said before. I can understand coming from a business standpoint. You always want to grow your market, but you also don't ever want to basically discard the folks that brought you to the party.
Yeah,
and they don't have a good record of listening to the fans because Disney always looked at the comics as research and development. Well, if you looked at the comics as research and development, the shit that you bring into the movies have pretty much killed your books because a lot of those people didn't come back, and I think it's a lack of understanding of why these characters are popular like they are. I can take the Incredible Hulk for example. As a lot of people know, my mom passed away when I was 15, so memories of my mother are very precious to me. Well, the first Incredible Hulk comic book I got from my cousin Warren, who's even passed now. He gave me his comic book collection, and he had a Hulk comic in there. And I can remember my mother reading that Hulk comic to me as a bedtime story. She was going to read half one night, half the next night. And for some reason, as a little kid, because, I'm like 5, the fact that Hulk talked in third person was just the funniest damn thing I'd ever heard in my life.
Yeah.
And I like the whole puny human thing. And me and my mother were sitting there, and we're both cackling our asses off. And she ends up reading me the whole book just because we thought it was so funny. So I have an emotional connection to the Robert Bruce Banner Hulk. If you make that Jen Walters, if you make that Amadeus Cho, I do not have that connection. I leave the book.
I think Banner is gonna always like if they do well. I know they were talking about doing a She-Hulk show, but Banner's supposed to be in it.
Yeah, I know.
So,
Yeah,
so I don't think she's gonna be by herself. But I think in terms of the movies, if Hulk ever shows up in the movies again, I don't think it's gonna be She-Hulk. I think She-Hulk will be on Disney Plus, but not in the movies. Um,
I
I
think
know they're
She-Hulk
trying
could
to
be in
do.
A-Force.
Oh,
Cause
if they do an A4,
you know they're gonna do A-Force.
yeah, if they do A4, she's definitely gonna be there. I think Master. They want to do Master of Kung Fu. If they do it right, especially how a lot of people have that connection to those old before it was Fox Channel 5
Yeah,
those
old
old Saturday
school
martial arts
Shaw
movies.
Brothers kung fu flicks. Yeah,
Yes, if they do it any way like that, if just insane martial arts,
basically what
not a
Iron
whole
Fist
lot.
should have been.
Yes, not a whole lot of CGI, because in those movies, if you notice those old karate, there was no CGI.
No, if they do Shang-Chi like AMC did Into the Badlands, they'll have a decent hit.
They'll have a hit. Yeah, they'll have a decent hit. Um,
But Shang he's got to be something weird. He can't do just it can't be like watching a Chuck Norris flick where it's just
yeah.
a normal person. He's gonna have to be something
Well,
weird.
they said they're supposed to bring in the real Mandarin.
Yeah,
So not this other guy. They're saying that wasn't the real Mandarin. They're gonna kind of say how Mandarin just threw. He was like a fake Mandarin, did that on purpose, whatever, to
oh yeah.
obscure his move.
Well, they already did
So
that in All Hail the King. The very last of those mini movies that they used to put on the DVDs. Yeah, All
yeah,
Hail the King, that's what that was about. Was you actually had the Ten Rings show up and take Trevor, break him out of prison to take him to the Mandarin where the real Mandarin could kill him.
oh
Yeah,
okay,
because the last thing is it was like, yeah, our master wants you and he's going to cut you into 10 pieces. A piece for
Mm.
every one of his rings. They came to murk Trevor.
Oh okay.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that's why everybody knew that there was an actual Mandarin out
oh,
there, is
there it
because
is.
that
Yeah.
was the last mini movie they did, and that's how that ended. Was you find out the dude that it was like a camera crew that came in to like interview Trevor and all that kind of shit. You end up finding out the cameraman, was one of the 10 rings. He like caps the guards in there, and he's got Trevor at gunpoint. It's like, yeah, our master craves you. He's going to cut you
Oh,
into 10, into a piece for each one of the rings. It was like, good lord, well, bye.
yeah.
Yeah,
So that's I can that might be a hit. Eternals, like they're gonna have to do something like what they did when I first heard Guardians of the Galaxy. I was like, nah. Now, Guardians of the Galaxy, I have a love-hate relationship with the comic. Um, I never really read the Jim Valentino issues when he was doing way back then when they were doing Guardians of the Galaxy. Though I did like that team, and I did read a couple of issues. I did like that lineup. Then when Abnett and Lanning brought the team back out, I thought that book was phenomenal. Then Bendis took it over, and it went to shit.
yep,
Gamora wasn't Gamora. Drax wasn't Drax. Drax was a clown. The clown that you see. That's the one thing I don't like about the Drax in the movies.
yeah.
Drax is
This
the
is
same
clown. Yeah,
clown type of character when he was never like that. Like he was dead serious.
yeah.
I'm actually glad
And
now.
when you had that thin version like is in the movies, he was unbelievably deadly.
Yes,
He was a
in the
hell.
comics,
That was the version that actually
unbelievably
managed to
deadly.
kill Thanos.
Yes, unbelievably deadly. And then you put him in the movies, and he's a joke.
Yeah, he was clown.
So I'm actually kind of glad that Don Cates, the writer on the new Guardians of the Galaxy book, um, he's made the book readable again. Um, and he brought back Drax, but Drax is old Drax
Oh,
with
okay.
the purple skull cap and the cape
Oh, nice.
and the
So
big hulking guy. Yeah,
yeah,
he's old Drax. So because apparently the other new Drax died or whatever, the whole thing in Infinity. But um Guardians, that's how Eternals is gonna have to be a surprise hit. like Guardians of the Galaxy was. Because when I first saw Guardians of the Galaxy, I was like, I'm gonna go see it. I went to see it because it was a Marvel movie. I wanted to support Marvel, but I was like, and I like the soundtrack. When I saw the previous watch, I said the soundtrack is popping.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm gonna go take a look.
Yeah,
And when I saw it, I was
Gar-
surprised.
Guardians was one of those that the first time I saw it, I didn't like it. I did. That was the one that everybody was like, "Oh, it's great." And I was like, I liked the music. I thought the story was stupid because it was. I used to call it Guardians of the Galaxy. Friendship is magic because at the end, every 5 minutes, they're having to remind you that they're friends. It's like I'm too stupid to watch this movie and realize that they're friends. It'd be like Cap and Falcon if the last half of the Winter Soldier. Every 5 minutes, they
Yeah,
would. Captain America's my friend. That flying
yeah,
Negro's my friend. We're friends. We're friends and friendship. I expected them to hit fucking Ronan with a big rainbow or some shit. I mean, it was literally just everyone. Hey, we're friends. This Green Horde is my friend, and we're friends, and we are Groot, and we're friends. I'm like, God damn, dude. I am not slow. I get it. You're friends. Move on. So I was not a fan. That was one of them that I went to because one, I knew Thanos was gonna be in it, and I was wanting to see Thanos. Where he would
yeah,
actually like talk.
yeah,
and and the driving thing of this last phase of Marvel has always been the Infinity story. There were a lot of those. Hell, Ant-Man. I ain't give a damn about Ant-Man. But you went to see Ant-Man just in case Ant-Man was going to be important. It's truthfully the marketing strategy that they used to make Captain Marvel a bigger success than I think it would have been without it. Is because you
yeah,
had people thinking that out of Ant-Man and the Wasp and Captain Marvel was going to be the important one, when the true important one was Ant-Man and the Wasp, because that's where the MacGuffin comes from.
yes, yes. Now, when Ant-Man came, I was like, eh. So I'll admit, I didn't go see Ant-Man movies. Not Ant-Man or Ant-Man. I waited for video. But I was surprised. I actually like both of those movies.
I
Ant-Man
enjoyed
and
them, but it was
yeah,
still one of those. It was still one of those where I remember when Ant-Man came out, me and being Jason. We were like, goddamn, I ain't really interested. And when I found out it was Scott Lang to boot, I was like, man, I'm gonna
it
grit my
was
teeth
like
and go to it.
it was yeah, it was like who asked for Ant-Man, but
And
it turned out to be
yeah, and it turned out to be a good movie. And truthfully, Luis is the thing that pushed me over the edge. I love the two stories that Luis tells in that. And I remember walking out of it. Jason looks at me and goes, "Oh my God, I like the Ant-Man movie. From here on out, whatever Marvel puts out, I will give them a chance."
yeah,
And that's the thing, is it's one of those where it's like, but this next phase without an overarching something to drive it, I don't see people turning out for the Eternals because there's no
no,
Infinity Gem question
no.
anymore.
You
Hell,
you
the
gotta
the best known Eternal, hell, you killed him. That was Thanos.
yeah.
That's, you know,
So
if they had done anything with his origin to have suggested that there were Eternals on Titan and he was one of them, then when you go, oh, there's an Eternals movie. Oh, I'm gonna find out this race that Thanos comes from. But there was
yeah,
never any mention of Thanos being an Eternal. Hell, in fact, they never even referred to him as the Mad Titan.
nope.
He's
So
from
he's
Titan, but they never called him the Mad Titan or anything.
yeah, the Eternals. That's a hard sell. That's gonna be a hard sell. There better be some sets looking like Lord of the Rings meets Star Wars meets whatever, because that's a hard sell.
Yeah.
That's not.
And I do know of some Eternals fans, but the two that I know have
Yeah,
already basically said I ain't going to the movie because they gender swapped. Who was it, Makari? And it was
yeah,
some.
yeah,
Well, hell, they gender swapped Makari, Puck,
yeah,
Ajax.
yeah. I don't know
So,
why they.
and
I
you
don't know why
kind
they did
and you kind of sit there and go, well, huh? And
that.
hell, even Makari, they got him played by a deaf actress, and it's like, what the what
And
the
this
hell does
this
that
what I
got to
don't.
do with the character at all?
This is what I don't understand. They Eternals already had strong female characters.
Yeah,
I think Athena was one. Thena was one.
Yeah, you had Thena, you had Cersei.
Like
Also,
you didn't,
Angelina Jolie, you look at her and go Cersei, but for some reason
and
they
she,
got her as Thena. And I was like, huh?
yeah. You like what? You like no? She would be Cersei. So I'm not sold on that movie. Marvel might have his first
Flop.
Batman versus Superman type flop
There
on
are
their
two
hand.
people that should be worried about that movie. One, Marvel Studios, and second, Ava DuVernay with the New Gods, because all the New Gods are DC's versions of the Eternals. And if
So,
the
yeah,
Eternals flops, you squash New Gods. Ain't no way in hell. That damn thing will
yep,
come out and go straight lead.
yep.
Who went to go see
So
this?
I'm
The
not,
people that worked on
and my brother. Just kidding, bro.
it?
But who else is there? What other movies they have coming out?
Phase 4 right now is Black Widow, which
I'm
people
not.
that Black Widow should have been, if they were gonna do a Black Widow like prequel, it should have been
Yeah,
in the spot where they had Captain Marvel when the character
yeah.
was still
First of all,
alive. Cause right
I
now
don't.
their
I
big
don't.
drawing
First of
point
all,
is Tony Stark's gonna be in it. So I'm like, so who in the hell's gonna pay for a movie where both of the damn characters that should bring you
again,
into it are dead?
like first, I don't even understand why they killed. I could maybe see Tony dying. Okay, fine. Even though that's an easy fix if they ever wanted to bring him back, that's a real easy fix. But for Black Widow, it made absolutely no sense that they killed her.
No.
I just didn't think
Other
that
than the shock value, if you were like me sitting there in Endgame and I'm sitting there going, well, I know Black Widow got a movie coming, so I know
that
they
she's
ain't gonna
gonna be
kill
like, yeah,
her. And
kill her, and then she
Hawkeye is
dies.
all
And we're
but
like, oh,
useless.
yeah.
So they'll kill Hawkeye. And then when they kill Black Widow, I'm sitting there going, huh, I didn't see that coming. Oh, well, maybe
Yeah.
they'll use her death to get rid of this lame ass version of Banner Hulk that they got running around, and I'll get a Hulk worth seeing. Nope, didn't do that either. So it was like,
So
it was almost like the Undertaker losing his undefeated streak at WrestleMania to Brock Lesnar. There was no point to it.
yeah, there was no point. It was the only point was Undertaker was ready to retire.
Yeah,
He was ready to go into semi-retirement. He said,
yeah,
"I'm done."
yeah. And
And
that's
he said, he said, "I'm gonna lose to anybody. It'll be Brock."
yeah. And the thing is, you sit there and look at it and you go, well, you know, there's no, when you look at Black Widow's death, there's no point to it except I have seen rumor where they go, oh, they're gonna show something in the Soul Gem, they may bring her back. Okay, you know, if they do that, yeah, I'm on board.
Yeah.
I like the Black Widow character enough that I could see me catching it at a matinee. I don't see me there on opening night or
No,
likely even
I would
opening
not.
weekend unless I just see some amazing,
Something.
trailer.
It'll be, and my wife probably won't even. She usually goes with me to the Marvel movies. She probably will not go with me to see this. It'll be a day where she's at work. I'm home. I'm off. The kids are either at school or visiting my mom in New York City, and I'm like, I'm bored. Let me go and let me see what's out. Oh, it's Black Widow. Oh, I'll go see that.
Yeah,
That's the only way I'm gonna go.
because
Go and
looking
see.
at the villain Taskmaster for Black Widow to be a threat to Taskmaster, they're gonna have to nerf the hell out of him.
Yeah,
He's
because
fought whole
Taskmaster.
teams. He don't need, Black Widow ain't. I don't care how many times
Yeah,
she jumps up and wraps her legs around his neck. He gonna beat her ass. It just
yeah, Taskmaster. For her
Taskmaster.
to beat him, she's gonna have to outsmart him because she
Yeah,
can't outfight him.
yeah. She cannot
So
outfight him.
hopefully they make her outsmart him because she cannot. He trips over his own shoelace. I don't know something and falls off a cliff. Anything, but she can't outfight him.
Cause
It's
see,
just not going to happen.
the interesting thing for me in that is gonna be how you gonna do a Black Widow movie with any kind of threat, considering they don't really like their women to take licks. Think about it. Really, the only woman that's taken a punch is Captain Marvel when Thanos used the power gem, like punched into space.
Yeah,
I mean, a punch that did something. He headbutted her, but she stood there like I am woman in a scene
yeah.
that is like, dude, come on.
Well, my theory is with that scene, and you can see it since she's basically powered by one of the gems, which I think is why he snatched the gem out from the gauntlet and put it in his other hand and then used it that way. that gem, I think, was giving her more power, and that's how she was able to withstand with them. Because you see, he's using the energy, and it's the same energy that she's kind of putting off. If you look at it really close,
Yeah.
So I'm thinking that the gem is powering her. That's the only way she can stand. And I think he kind of saw that because he kind of looks at his hand like, "What?" And then he kind of snatches the gem out and puts it in the other hand, the power gem, and then he kind of bop. He kind of lets her have it. So, that that I think was the only way she was able to, at least in my mind, that is the only
Yeah.
way she could
That
plausibly
that
stand
was
up to
one
Thanos with the
that I
Infinity
kind of
Gauntlet.
sat there and that was one of those when you go and people go, that's pandering. I kind of sit there and go, yeah, it was, because I always love the explanation when they go, see, she's like that because she's powered by an infinity gem. No, she's powered by essentially a hydro weapon. That engine was basically the same kind of engine that every fucking vehicle the Red Skull's Hydra had in Captain America: The First Avengers. The guns were powered by an infinity gem, powered by the same thing, the Tesseract. Where Vision literally had an infinity gem stuck in his forehead, and Thanos went through him like a hot knife through butter. Hell, Thanos' flunkies went through him like a hot knife through butter.
Somebody knocking at the door? Yeah, I kind of. Sorry about that.
No, it's cool. She's powered by an infinity gem. Is that better than having an actual gem stuck in your head? Maybe? No. Scarlet Witch is powered by an infinity gem. Quicksilver was empowered by an infinity gem. You see how it helped him?
Yeah.
What took him out? Bullets.
The same thing with Quicksilver now. Supposed to be the fastest man there.
Bullets.
I liked him. That is the only time I would say Fox has
Outdid
done
a character. Yeah.
football. Yes, that's the only time. That Fox rendition of Quicksilver, great.
Yeah.
Marvel's version, the MCU version,
Poop.
Yeah.
Quicksilver was basically the girlfriend in the refrigerator.
Yes.
He was the character that you killed off to make Scarlet Witch more important or a better character.
Yes.
Truthfully, Vision ended up being the same thing, because you look at Vision in Civil War, and he's the big gun. It's like, oh shit, why? Because he's powered by an infinity gem. Holy shit! And then he shows up in Infinity War and is literally beat the living hell out of like an unwanted puppy or some shit. Every damn time he gets into a fight, he gets the shit beat out of him.
He was. I would tell everybody to the day I die, Vision was absolutely useless in Infinity War. I don't even know why he showed up. I would have just said, Vision, go home. We got it. He was absolutely useless in Infinity War.
He was completely, utterly pointless. And you kind of sit there and go, what are you doing, dude?
Exactly. You're like, dude, you're not getting, like, you're getting dragged. Like, Black Widow is beating up people that she has no reason beating up.
Yeah.
And you're getting dragged through the street like nothing. So actually, when Vision died, I kind of felt nothing. I was like, well, he was useless throughout the whole movie. Let him die.
Yeah. The best part of Vision going away was when like I said, he was the girlfriend in the refrigerator, because when Scarlet Witch shows up in Endgame and is attacking Thanos, and they're like, you took everything from me. Even though he's sitting there going, who the hell are you?
I don't know you.
I don't even know who the hell you are.
Yeah. Like, she's like, you're like, okay, Scarlet Witch. And that's honestly the only time I found Scarlet Witch interesting, because as a comic character, I'm not a Scarlet Witch fan. I've never been a Scarlet Witch fan.
I always looked at it, and this kind of ties into the Hickman thing. Even though they made it where she's not a mutant, and you notice how when they were showing the criminals against mutant kind, how she was one of them.
Yes.
I always looked at her.
Scarlet Witch was right there.
I always looked at her as the sellout mutant.
Yep,
she was the sellout. She was the one. She never stood up for mutants. She never got in a mutant fight except as a bad guy. She was always kind of the trash panda mutant to me.
And even as a bad guy, she always kept saying, "Wait, please don't hurt them too much." So she was, she was kind of the useless.
Yeah, she had them trash panda tendencies.
Yes.
So I was kind of like, I don't like her, whatever.
Yeah.
You know, the no
Let
more
her die.
mutants. And I like the fact that when she did no more mutants, the rest of mutant kind was looking at her like Hitler. You remember Rogue couldn't stand her. In that
Yes.
Uncanny Avengers book, Rogue was like, yeah, if I
Yeah,
had a
like how
choice
y'all
between like a sack full of roaches and you, I'm picking the sack full of roaches.
look for the roaches. Yes. So I'm glad that Hickman put her as this great, like she's a menace to the mutants and like public enemy number one. And yeah, we need to kill her first chance we get.
Yeah,
Like
you know,
I honestly want to see a book in a storyline somewhere where the X-Men, whoever, they're like, it even showed as a running subplot. Yeah, we Scarlet Witch is on that hit list. Yeah, first
here,
chance we get, we're capping her.
here's the interesting thing about that though. If you erase the past 10 years of X-Men, is she really not a mutant? If you basically say, okay, the past 10 years of X-Men didn't happen, well, that gets rid of that story that was in Uncanny Avengers where,
Well, see,
you know, they didn't
House of
have
M,
access to them.
but see, they like I know Hickman is still saying House of M happened. She still did that. But I think you're right. I think that they're still classified now as mutants. I don't think they're when they were trying to say that they were Inhumans or something else.
They were
That
saying
was just
that the
them
high evolutionary created them some kind of way.
created them, and that was
But
just them because
if you notice in the Hickman thing though, across from her name, you know, when it's the it's the person,
she's a mutant.
the crime. Yeah, they say she was a did they say she was a confused something? No,
Yeah,
she was masquerading as a mutant or something like that. Where you know,
something.
with
Yeah,
this reboot, you pretty much kind of gotten rid of that whole.
that's the uncanny Avengers
Like I said,
thing where she's not.
that was one of those things where you kind of sit there. The thing that I have with Hickman's run that I'm trying to piece together is what happened, what didn't happen when you do these flashbacks. Where is that fitting in the overall story? What you still have as canon? Because just like the Forge thing, when he goes, okay, I want Forge to fix Cerebro. You can go to the Jim Lee, Chris Claremont run of X-Men when they basically get Charles back and when the X Factor rejoins the main team and you had the blue and the gold team. Yeah, you've got Forge basically going, yeah, I've revamped Cerebro. It's a brand new
Yeah,
Cerebro that I got. And you go, okay, that fits. You see where that's coming from. Some of that kind of stuff, you kind of sit there and go, well, where in the hell does this fit? Why is this happening? Even the resurrection things, because I was talking to one of my buddies yesterday, and we kind of go back and forth on that. In fact, the other podcast did a show about does that kind of cheapen death if you can just resurrect. And I was telling them, but the trick to it is that's not you. It's a copy of you. That's not Wolverine running around now. That's not Cyclops running around now. It's a perfect copy of Cyclops, but it ain't Cyclops. Cyclops is dead.
yeah.
That's just a really great clone. You know,
So it's
they did not bring that character back from the dead. Wolverine's still
they
burnt up.
cloned his body.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Wolverine's
So
still burnt
so
up.
so technically, yeah, they're dead.
Yeah, it's Doctor Who. If you ever
Yeah.
watch Doctor Who when he goes through a regeneration, they explained it one time is he doesn't look forward to that because yeah, he regenerates, but the him that comes out of that isn't the same one.
It's the same hand. Yeah, exactly. And you know what it's kind of like? It's Tony Stark.
Yeah.
How Civil War II they killed him, but he had a backup body.
Mm-hmm.
He had his memory backed up.
Yep.
The memory just implanted into their body. So he's even having a crisis now. Am
Yep.
I actually Tony Stark or am I just a
Or am I just
clone
a digital
of
copy of Tony Stark?
of Tony Stark? And basically, yeah, you're the digital copy. I guess
The fun thing is he's freaking out about it. War Machine's handling it just fine.
yeah.
Except for
Because
hell, this is Rhodey's like what third body, fourth body?
yes. Like Rhodey died like 3 or 4 times.
Yeah, Rhodey's died.
Yeah,
easily. Because remember back when you had the cyborg him?
yeah, yeah.
You had him, you had the cyborg him, you had that new body that he got, you know, that was like human, and then Thanos killed that, and then yeah, he's on like his fourth damn body.
Buddy, yep. And he's like, oh well, I'm here, so I'm good.
Oh, I don't care. Yeah, I might be
I don't
live, I
like.
might be Memorex, I don't know. Fuck it.
I don't know if I would have put him back with Captain Marvel I would have been like, look, Carol, I died because of you. We can't be together, boo. I'm sorry. Like it was your call to go after Thanos, and I died. So nah, we
Well,
could.
at least he came off better than Sam Wilson. At least she ain't just taking it. She
Yeah,
is the most powerful, supposedly something in the Marvel universe. She could just take it.
yeah.
Thor
Because
did.
Sam, yeah, but Sam
That's
Wilson, she,
and that's the fun thing. I sit there and they go, "Oh, we're gonna have the Jane Foster Thor," and I'm like, "Is she gonna sexually assault Captain America like she did in the comics?"
because that's basically what she did.
Yeah, because he had a girl. He
She,
was dating Misty Knight. Misty Knight was his
yep.
girlfriend. Thor would basically take him whenever she wanted a taste of
When
chocolate.
she felt like it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
and then you're
and she
like,
was too strong for him to stop.
yeah, and you're like, what? You're like looking at it like, wait, what?
Yeah,
Did that just
that was
happen?
me. Yeah, well, the first time that happened, I was sitting there going,
Like, did
if
they
you
just?
if you reverse that, that's like sexual
That's right.
assault like a
That's
motherfucker.
assault. That's assault. Yeah, like, did you just condone sexual assault in the comic? Like, what?
Oh
Like,
no, no,
did
no!
you just say?
You can't sexually assault a Negro male.
So did you just say that? Yeah, yeah.
I mean,
Did you
that's
just
really how
say
that came off. And it was
that
like,
it's
well,
okay to
I guess
sexually
since I
assault
can't do
black men?
nothing to stop you, I guess I might as well like it.
Like, yeah. No, it was like it reminds me of, and they could have played it. They could have played it like They could have played it like what's his name? Like that book of Robert Kirkman's book Invincible
Yeah,
and Image, where one of the people, the Viltrumites, the female one, I forget her name, the woman one, she came and she basically said, look, you're going to sire, you're going to help me sire some children, and you're going to do it whether you want to or not. And he was traumatized because she basically raped him. She basically beat him into submission and then took it.
yeah.
And they were saying the book is going to deal with rape. And he said before, I mean, some people were kind of saying that Kirkman was kind of trivializing it, but you see that he was victimized. He was like, well, shit, like she raped me,
Yeah.
like she beat me,
And then
got on
took it.
top, and yeah, and
And
took it.
then
And
just took it.
people always try to say, some people were trying to say, well, how is it rape if he got excited? Um, that's biology.
Yep.
You that's something that you can't control it.
So
You know.
on that horrifically dark place,
Yeah.
we will we will wrap up this week's episode of In Phase. I am the Todd Father. Oh, hype your page, man.
Oh yeah. So you can find me, of course, at Todd's terrific page, the Nerd Eternal Network. You can
Woo.
also find me on my own pages, World's Greatest Geeks. We've also got World's Greatest Geeks presents Tech and Entertainment. We've also
Swanky.
got another page running called We the Geek. So you can find me at any of those three pages. We're also on Instagram and Twitter under World's Greatest Geeks. So give us a shout out, guys. Thanks.
And even though we dogged out subscribing to YouTubers and stuff, yeah, please like, subscribe, share the
Oh
page.
yeah.
We are desperate for, promotion.
Yeah.
And we will catch you next week. I gotta have you back on here sometimes when Tony's actually here, Camille. We can sit there and
Oh,
completely chop stuff
absolutely.
up. Well,
I am free most Sundays. I only work one Sunday every 6 weeks, every 8 weeks, so I'm good.
all right, cool. Well, I will catch you good people later, and we'll see you on the
Yep.
flip side.
Have a good one, guys.